What's going on, everybody? It is I, Jeen the Jeenius. You are now tuned in to Nabruh Talk. It is Friday, April 20th, 2018. Happy 420 to everybody, to anybody who celebrates. Today we have a very interesting guest with us. He is the co-founder of Black Posse. He's studying fashion at Montclair State University. He's a visionary and a designer from Linden, New Jersey. Please give a round of applause for Keon, aka Chad.
Hey, what's up? What's going on?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Everything good, man. Can't complain. Just glad to be here.
Word. Thank you for coming on Nabruh Talk today. So we're gonna get right into it. I want you to tell everybody, who is Keon, aka Chad?
All right. First, so we are on the radio, right?
Right.
So we're not cursing or nothing, right?
Yeah, no curses.
I just want to make sure I do everything right. All right. So Keon, aka Chad, don't call me aka Chad. Right? You call me Keon, but like Chad is kind of like, it's like this. I feel like everybody should have like their own like name. I feel like everybody should have like something separate. If it's not an alter ego, it's just like something else that people should call you as. It's just like, just sometimes it's good to break into a different character, break into like different habits. But that's the whole thing with the name thing. And I just thought like Chad's a cool name, but who I am is basically, like you said, a creator. I don't want to say innovator, but like visionary, like futurist. All that I was recently talking about is just thinking of different ways to basically get out new ideas. Basically to build. Basically to like I was saying to you off air, like I'm currently trying to build an empire right now. It's just me right now and a few like affiliates, but like I'm just trying to build something bigger than just like, I'm a fashion major, but I'm trying to build more than just fashion clothes. I'm trying to like venture out into music, into arts and photography and different things. And I'm just here learning it all. I'm still a student, still, you know what I mean, striving.
Nice. So you're raised in Linden. You were born in Springfield, Massachusetts.
Right.
When did you move to Linden?
I moved to Linden like 9 years old. I moved to Linden when I was going on to the 3rd grade.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was it like living in Massachusetts though?
Oh, I mean, I was young, but like, I went to a Montessori school. You know what that is, right?
Nah, what is that?
A Montessori school, basically, if those who don't really know what a Montessori school is, it's a great program for kids, and like they need to start emulating this and start funding this more. It's basically you work more so hands-on, and like you like it's kind of like you work with your hands, and basically you have a mat. And what they did, I'm trying to remember exactly what they did with me or with the different students, is they have different projects or different lessons that you do with your hands.
Okay.
So when you multiply, you put like you have beads and you have rows and columns. So say if it's 3 times 4, you have 3 beads going across, going down 4 times, and then you have 3 rows. So then 3 times 4 equals 12. So they basically seeing it out, and basically you're seeing the whole like how the numbers play out in a work atmosphere. Instead of just like giving them numbers in a notebook in the desk,
right?
Like building like a corporation is different. It's more so like,
so you get the physical aspect of exactly why 3 times 4 is 12.
Exactly, absolutely. And like each week we have like different lessons, and throughout the whole class we had to stay doing different lessons, and then we were recording a book what we did. I remember each time, and we all used to meet around this platform and just talk to the teacher. It was just more engaging. It's one of the best schools, man. It was Zanetti Montessori. I don't even know if that school is still going, but
that's pretty dope.
Yeah, that
sounds pretty dope.
Exactly, right? And you don't want to just keep putting kids in the desk or putting young people in the desk and like kind of like building this work atmosphere when not everybody's going to do that.
Right. I feel like at a young age, that is the time, like from 5 to I'd say 5 to 12, 13, that's where you should definitely be teaching kids hands-on, which would help them when they get into high school and middle school and high school and stuff and beyond, how to work their brains better to create. Because, I feel like the earlier you start kids, the better it is when they move on. But I feel like they can do that, but they don't want to because there's other factors that play into stuff like that. Why did your family move to Linden though?
I mean, they moved to Linden because of family reasons. At the moment, my grandmother wasn't doing too well. She was kind of sick, and I had just lost my cousin. He was murdered at the time, so my aunt was living by her own. So at that moment, it was just one of those things that my dad and my mom just came up with a decision. Cause all right, let me go back. They originally left out of Jersey to live a better life and to kind of build. And since my dad was going to college in Massachusetts,
okay,
they're from Jersey, but they came to Massachusetts, and that's when I was born. And that was where they came for a better life at the moment. But they figured the time is right. We should go back. We should raise our kids back in Jersey, where we're from, where our family's from, and make sure they're taken care of. And that was that situation. So yeah, came to Jersey and it's a switch of environments.
Wow. So then you were raised in Linden pretty much your whole life. What's people who's from Linden, they pretty much have an idea of what Linden is. We're diverse, we're a basketball town.
Yeah.
People know your dad as the coach and everything. Well, he used to be a coach and stuff. But you, as your own individual, what has been the biggest takeaway growing up in Linden?
The biggest takeaway, growing up in Linden, well, I mean, it's kind of a good mix. You understand a lot about different cultures. I would say if you've grown up in Linden, or if you even go through high school, you're gonna learn how to dabble with everything.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna see black people, you're gonna see Hispanics, you're gonna see a lot of Polish people, different white people. I mean, it's kind of it's kind of you could choose. You could choose basically what are you gonna gravitate to? What type of audience you want to gravitate to? What kind of career you want to gravitate to? It's no pressure on being a certain way. Linden, there's no area really where there's pressure that you have to be a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
If you're that way, or if you're coming up like that, it's more so you wanted to.
Right.
But Linden has places if you want to skate. I remember there's times when I wanted to skate. Back then, I would go down Linden with skateboarders and all that. At that time, when we was listening to Lupe Fiasco and Pharrell when they were hot. You know what I mean? So this time there's a place for that. I mean, there's a place to get into violence, of course. But there's a place where you want to ball. Well, everywhere you could ball in Linden, but it's just there's certain places like 4th Ward, 5th Ward, all right, well, these are the athletes or whatever. I'm gonna hang out here and I'm gonna be one of the best athletes or whatever the case may be. So it had a good mixture of everything. I think that's probably the best part about Linden.
Yeah, I can agree with that. So after Linden, you graduated 2013, and then you went straight to UCC, or did you take time off?
I went straight to UCC, but at this point I didn't really know what I was gonna do. So it was kind of a feeling out process. And the best idea probably would have been taking a year off. And I wish people would start pushing that more. It's okay if you don't want to go straight to college right after high school. You could take a year off. You will have to work to keep your brain working, mm-hmm. training, exercise, brain exercises. You have to stay active, of mm-hmm. course, but don't force it, because that could be a mistake, an expensive mistake, a financial mistake, and it could also be for your grades and everything. It's just not good, and you end up staying longer than you have to. Mm-hmm. Kind of what I did. I stayed longer than I have to. But I don't regret going to community college, because in the long run it was cheaper. But it's a good filling out process. It was a good filling out process for learning what I want to do, and yeah, don't rush if you don't have to. You could take time. There's nothing wrong with that. Get into what you want. Start working if you want. Just stay active.
Nice. So then you transferred to Montclair State, and then you admitted yourself for fashion. To study fashion. What inspired you to go into fashion, though?
Oh man, I was always into fashion. I was like always into fashion. I was always into fashion. I was always into music. So I knew whatever I was gonna do was gonna be fashion or music or both. But since I was young, and think like my inspirations, biggest inspirations are Kanye West, Pharrell, Lavie2kee, all those who like kind of dabbled in both fields. So it's kind of like, all right, well, I don't really have the music part, so I'm gonna go. Let's do this fashion thing. I always like admired being able to like express yourself and what you wear, or the freedom of having like whatever you want to wear or whatever you could wear. So that was something I always did, and something when I was young I just used to experiment, like, you know, like even when I see like these kids with like blonde hair and like blue dreads and everything, all this crazy red hairstyles and everything, like I'm like, go for it, like 16, 17, like that's your time to experiment and like try different things. And I know like older people like they don't understand, but like that's the time like people try to like find themselves and like try to get their style, and that's kind of like what happened with me. You know, I was trying like different like high top fades, and I think they had every hairstyle imaginable. Honestly, I never dyed my hair, but like I always did like braids or like high top fades or afros. Just always try to do something like different, just to kind of like find a style, and that always stuck with me. So when I got older, I knew like, all right, I'm gonna take this fashion thing serious. I'm gonna start creating pieces. I'm gonna start, you know, looking at different fabrics. I'm gonna then go to school and try to figure out the right way and make the right connections.
So there are a lot of people out there that are very critical with certain majors in college. You know, we've all seen the tweets and people talking about, oh, if you're going to school, you got to pick this and that. You don't need to go to school for this to be studying that and stuff like that. But for one, I believe it's not so much the degree, but the person who has possession of it. What do you plan to do with your degree in fashion once you obtain it?
Well, that's a weird question, because I don't think this degree is really, I don't know if it's gonna do that much for me, but the time in college is more so what I went for college for. It's basically the network and the fact that Montclair State is not far from New York, the fact that you know, it's easy for me to get there to like an internship or to a job close to New York. The fact that there's other people in fashion major that are kind of, we're on the same link, on the same page as these Jersey kids that's just trying to create at the same place, but kind of don't really need to go to school. And we all say the same thing, but we're all here. So we're going to network and try to get what we can while we're here.
Right.
We're going to try to, you know what I mean? So we're going to try to use college as probably not as much as they're using our money, but like we're gonna use them for what they're bringing us here for.
Right.
So you know, that was more so my whole case. You know, I could have, you know, just went on my own and did it, but you know, and it doesn't hurt as long as, you know, you're doing what you love, and I could, as long as it doesn't hinder me from creating, which it doesn't. Knowing extra a few things or whatever, it doesn't hurt. So I figured that, like I said, back to the question, like the degree is not really gonna like enhance my skills. Right. It doesn't. In fashion is like one of those things. It doesn't like judge your. There's no like criteria on like, all right, this is how creative you are.
Right, because
exactly. It's like the people will tell you that. A degree is not going to tell you that.
Right.
A degree could probably tell people like they're efficient in math or they're efficient at writing skills and stuff like that, but not in your creativity and your vision and how you think and how you know what I mean.
It's interesting you say that, because my boy Hussein, who does film, he started off at UCC, then he got sick. And he couldn't get out of bed for like a few months and stuff, and he realized he came to the realization that you don't have to go to school to be a filmmaker. Like when you go to Hollywood or you go to any like directors and stuff, they're not gonna ask you where's your degree. They're gonna ask you where's your work. So they like that's the same thing. Yeah, they want to look at your portfolio. So what's the point of just having a degree when you have nothing connected with it in your portfolio?
Exactly.
So I feel like the degree is cool, but at least have together a whole portfolio. That's why you said having that network in your school to build. So when you're done, you don't have to. You don't. The first go-to is not the degree. It's more so I have this, and this put together. Oh, by the way, I graduated from Montclair. That should be a by the way type of thing.
It's like an accolade, kind of in a sense. But I mean, an accolade not necessarily has it weighs in heavy on you, or it should weigh in heavy on anybody. But like, it's just that an extra thing like that. All right, well, I obviously can stay on task, or I could wake up and I could do something for a long amount of time. But as far as having a job or whatever, I find out like on an internship, when I found out that they're not checking grades, I was just like, yo, what? I'm doing all this right now. So then, I mean, not to say you shouldn't, put your best foot effort or whatever into it, but if as a creative, you're there's certain things in school is well, this not really gonna help me, and they're not gonna check for you didn't have that 3.5 in no, they're gonna see where your portfolio. They're gonna ask you where they're gonna ask you basically what kind of what do you see yourself as, what do you see yourself doing, and how can we work from you from there? What can we build off of this? They're not gonna say oh well, in this class you didn't do this, hand this in, or whatever the case. And I wish I knew that before. I was just thinking in my head I would have put way more. There's times I was so focused on work, and I say you shouldn't be focused on your schoolwork, but I was I could have spent those hours on a portfolio, or getting a shoot in, or connecting with this. You know what I'm saying? I would have spent more late hours doing this. And I'm over the last year, I'm just finding that out, and it's just wow, this whole time I was going so hard at this school, and I was just I used to see it and whatever. I'm just nah, that's not even what's it about. You know what I'm saying? So now I try to make it a goal for me to just each week to get I do these things. I get I draw a picture. I write a song. I draw a picture. I write a song. I come up with a design. I come up with prints, and I also try writing kind of rhythm. I don't want to say poem, but something similar to that. I do a video. I edit a video. So each week I try to make it even if it's not the best idea, you did something, and you're exercising the mind. Goes back to what I was saying, exercising the mind. I try to make it a goal, even if it's trash or whatever the case would be. It could be 30 seconds, it could be whatever, but just keep that motor running, keep it in your head, because they're not going to do it for you in school. Absolutely. They're not going to, you know what I mean? Everybody have their own process. So
I feel the role of college has shifted over the years, because back in the day, it really used to be you gonna go and you have to perform well academically so you can get a job or whatever the case might be. But I feel us as millennials, that's not what we really going to school for. If we have the right mindset, we know I'll go to school to make more of a connection base. To create a platform base, and I feel the academic part is just to help you stay disciplined. You feel me? It's I was talking to one of our boys and his little brother. And I was yo, even though you're doing poorly in school, at least try to get better grades. Not to get the good grades, but to know that you can actually get them. So when you want to do anything else, you have that foundation to achieve that. So it's so the same thing with school when you go to college. We know grades aren't the best, so you don't have to aim for A's and all that, but just maintaining it. So so even if you don't want to spend too much time academically, you're still doing well enough, but you're putting more time into your arts and your crafts and stuff like that.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's important. I find that really important. And it's I was saying earlier, it's good to have. And I know certain people, they're gonna be you should always, whatever you do it to your best ability, do it to your best. I put 100% in it, and I don't think that's true. I'm like, I hate to disagree, but I don't believe that's true. I feel like there's certain things that there's priorities, and it's kind of hard to, you can't physically, mentally put 100% in everything that you're doing.
Right.
You can't do it. You could juggle it, you could try to maintain it, but there's certain times you have to make decisions like, all right, this is more important. I have to put more emphasis on this. I have to put more emphasis on my brand or whatever I'm creating. Like, there's certain times where it's like, in the long run, is this gonna help me? You gotta make that decision. Like, is this gonna be beneficial for me in the long run and what I'm trying to do with my goal? If the answer is no, then you have to be like, you have to say like, all right, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna handle it. I'm gonna get it done. But that's not. I'm not spending all my energy. I'm gonna spend those extra 2 hours that I would have spent doing this, and I'm gonna put it towards my brand. It's something I know that has staying power, that has longevity, and building that. And the whole thing is the same way how basketball players, whatever, when they go for 1 year in college. You mean to tell me they're gonna spend all their energy? Right. They try to make it to the league. They're gonna spend all their energy into school and going to all these classes that they're forced to take, which was a system that they're getting paid.
Money.
You know what I mean? The NCAA is making billions of dollars, and they're getting none of this, and they're supposed to put all that in there and expect to that's good enough. Like, I just got here. No, we're making you money. Like, I'm trying to get to the league. Like, this, we're not gonna get on me just for not going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not doing an extra mile in class. That's not, in the long run, that's not helping you. That's not putting food on your table, which it should be the reason we're going to better ourselves in school, is to put, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? To put food on the table. It's more so. Let's go to college because we have to. Let's go here 1 year because we have to ultimately get to our goals.
Right. Because you meet a lot of interesting people. Like, I don't know where I would be. I don't know what kind of people I would have had I not gone to college. And I feel like when you go to, like I said, it's not just an academic, how do you say, platform anymore. It's more so really building, like, people really go to college building networks. Like, look at all these companies that have been developed over the years. It's a lot of people, they met these people on campuses. You know, some of them, they didn't even finish.
Exactly.
You know, they ain't even finished.
That's a funny story because, like, I was just speaking to my advisor. And, like, these curriculums are outdated. Definitely. Outdated. Like, they're way too outdated. And it's like, we're going to make, you can't graduate if you don't take 2 years of Spanish.
Huh?
Why do I need 2 years of Spanish?
Yeah.
What, and, like, what? You got to give me a logical reason why I need 2 years of Spanish. Other than you just trying to get more money from me, out of me. And I was talking to, like I said, to my advisor, and the funny thing, she had to catch herself because she was saying, you can get this internship with this guy. He went to the school, he went through the same process, but he dropped it his junior year. And then I was like, oh yeah, she was like, yeah, he dropped his junior year. And I was like, I said, okay, well, you know why he dropped? And she was just like, nah, he just thought like his school wasn't doing nothing for him. And then look, he's like, he has his own business, and he has his own clientele, and like you know what I'm saying? She's just like, yeah, he's doing all these great things, and she doesn't even notice at the time. She's like, I'm a junior, like I'm trying to build, like, so basically she's like, oh no, I don't want you to drop or anything. I just think it's a good idea if you intern for him. So I'm just like, yeah, basically you see what you're saying, like he didn't find, like, I'm not saying I would drop, but like the curriculum, he found like you don't need this and anything, what else or whatever to say. But I guess she was like so wrapped up into like, oh well, he like he you know, he went here or whatever, or he, you know what I'm saying, or he did the same thing you did, right. But she's not realizing that she's saying that he dropped me, he didn't really need to, so he really spent money in his school and he didn't even finish it, and he went to build and be successful. But I'm supposed to go 4 years and
Spanish,
and go to intern with him. So I'm like, you know what you say, and then she brought up somebody else who dropped. I'm just like a recurring pattern. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like when people do that, and when people talk about, you know, talk about why is it so important and to stay or whatever. They gotta realize like the curriculums and everything, they could be distractions. They could be distractions.
And I just feel like when it comes to the curriculum, I feel like it's not updated because of who is running the school. Now, I've had this conversation with a lot of other people, like, how are you at college? You have a lot of students that are in school studying certain things, and you can't give them jobs after they graduate. Yeah. I feel like a lot of, like, if, I feel at least 30% of your employees on the campus should be people fresh out of college. Why? Because they can relate to the students who are in college, which would help them more. And as far as the curriculum goes, why not? And even like, let's say you go to college, let's say you come into college freshman year, but you have an idea of what you want to do. And that's why it's also important to read the qualifications of job, like what they're looking for, because it's like, they need this. I don't need to take these classes. So like, you don't even go for the degree. Yeah. You just go to take these courses. So it's like you've taken 12 business courses, which comes up to like 36 credits. But because my thing is like, all right, if I'm a business major, why am I taking Spanish, biology, what else, like a geo science and stuff like that? It's like, it doesn't make sense. Why don't you just give me all my business classes? And
you won't even remember half of the words you say in Spanish.
Right. I've taken 2 Spanish courses. I only know the numbers. That's it. I know numbers up to like 40. Yeah. But my thing is like, you're making us take these classes because you want money from us. But you can still get money from us if you just give us the classes we need to take.
That's true.
You give me like, it shouldn't be that much of a problem for us. Like, it doesn't make any sense at all. And I get it, they want us here long, because if we only took the classes we need to take, we'd be out of here in about 2.5, 3 years.
That's the deal.
Yeah, that's wild, bro.
Man, college is a contract, man.
Yeah, and I feel like that's why I'm gonna say this now. Maybe we shouldn't need to go to college for the degree. We should just go to get the classes that we need to take and leave, and then venture off to other places that will hire you even if you don't have the degree, but they see on your resume that you've taken all of these courses.
Oh, okay.
You get what I'm saying? So it's like I'm not. You tell your advisor. Well, your advisor says you gotta take it. It's like, I'm not really here to take these classes. So I'm gonna take business 1200. I'm gonna take business 1205. Like, you can't do that. You gotta take. I'm like, ma'am, I'm not taking these, and I'm not here to get a degree either. I'm here to take these courses and bounce.
See, that probably won't happen because the whole money. Like I said, it's a contract. So the whole thing of they're like, we're not gonna give you the chance to say that you're credited with these hours or with these classes without finishing completely.
Yeah.
Doing, you know what I mean? So like, you're not gonna be able to say that. We're not gonna back you up on that because the whole goal is you gotta finish. And you have to finish strong. And I think the whole conditioning of people, of the higher ups is, well, they stuck it out. They did it. They finished strong. They got through it. They got past it. Like that was. They treat it like it's like a. They treat it like you paid your dues.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, which end to end, none of that should matter.
Yeah.
All that should matter is how efficient are they. And how great is the product that they're creating? Yeah. Whether if it's information, whether if it's art, whether if it's on the court, whether if it's their skill, how good is the product that they're making?
Right.
And what can they do for me? And what can I get from them? You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So all that, how they did it and when they did it, and all all those things in the middle should not matter. And that's what I think people get wrapped up as. They so concerned with how they got what they got through it or whatever. Yeah. Some people go through the whole college process and they did it and they had it like have like the blueprint how to get through it and they did it all packed. But then when it comes to like creating something or when it comes to making something, like, yo, this is trash. Yeah. This is trash. Like, I don't want to do this. You know what I'm saying? Like the product is trash. I don't care where you went to school at. I don't care what you did. I don't care where you're from. I don't care. You can have the best credentials ever. If you're not creating or producing what I asked you, or what people want, what the people want, at the end of the day, you're gonna be jobless as well. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It ain't gonna be no better.
So I want to get into before we get into Black Posse, I just want to ask, as a, you said you want to do a lot of different things, but fashion would be like your first. It would be like your initial. It'll be like your startup to branch out into other things, right?
Right.
So, how do you plan to make a difference in the fashion world?
That's a good question. Well, basically, it's I kind of just, when you love something, when you're passionate about something, it's more so. I don't really have this whole like innovation plan or how I'm gonna like shake up the whole, you know what I'm saying, industry or whatever the case may be. And I'm glad you said that, because like there's no this in my head, well, there's no original idea. Let me get that out. There's no original idea. Everything's been copied. Everything's been influenced since the beginning of time. So my goal is not to just become this like probably the biggest innovator we all know is Steve Jobs or like Walt Disney or something. Mm-hmm. I'm striving for that greatness, but I'm not striving for that type of innovation and type of we're basically we're fighting to find a new way to do things, because I think that process could be overrated, because what I believe is, if sometimes it's good to build upon other ideas. Sometimes it's great to take them, twist them, put your spin on it, and build on top of that. And I think that's kind of like what I want to do. But I'm taking different elements. I'm taking like the music aspect, the photography aspect. I'm taking everything that I learned in the fashion industry, and I'm applying that to all those different things. And I feel like fashion is probably one of the things that I know most. Mm-hmm. So I'm using that as a platform. So everything I go through and on this journey, I'm applying that to my whatever I create, the empire that I'm trying to create. Mm-hmm. All the different things that I have in these productions that I have coming up, which I kind of sent you the logo of what I kind of like, what I'm trying to build. But that's all I'm trying to do, is learn as much as possible, be a student, and it's all right. I think it's all right to tell people like, you don't have all the answers just yet. You don't know what you're doing just quite yet. Like, yeah. I'm still, like I said, I'm still trying to figure it out. Not a student like in school, but like a student to everything around me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just trying to be like one of these people who's created these deep tweets and just like, you know what I'm saying?
Going viral for
going viral for a day or whatever, or like doing these deep tweets that I stole off of Maya Angelou and not give credit to.
Word.
You know, so I'm trying, you know what I mean? I'm just trying, like, I'm still learning, I'm still processing. There's times even with my own style, like I had to deconstruct, I had to just destroy everything and like get rid of everything and try to build from the ground up. You know what I'm saying? So like it's all to me a learning process, but what I'm good at is observing and be able to react off of that and be able to apply that to all the other things I want to create. So that's basically my whole journey through fashion, and that's what interests me the most. That's the only way I'm doing it. That's why I'm doing it through fashion, because that's what's my biggest interest.
I kind of like the deconstruction mode, because it's like you have something and you want to break it down and tear it apart, because you know when you rebuild it, it's going to be better than what you had before.
Absolutely.
I feel like that's kind of like what I'm going through now, and it's like it's exciting because it's like because you imagine breaking something down and you find better pieces to rebuild it. You get me? Mm-hmm. So it's like, I'm gonna use this piece right here and rebuild the new thing that I'm building up. I don't need that piece no more, so I could throw that out. And I think that's one of the best parts and most exciting parts about reconstruction. It's like you can break down something, and you might notice something that you've had that you didn't use very well,
right.
And for the next part, you use it better for the new construction part of it.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, there's no shame in failing. There's no shame in a loss. Well, to me, there is no loss. It's just experience. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's either what's that Hove line? The struggle through the pain is a blessing or something like that.
There's a lot of.
There's no lot. It's not a loss. It's a lesson. The struggle, the pain is a blessing. There's never a loss. It's a lesson. Something like that.
Yeah.
It's lessons, and there's like it's basically like through pain.
Mm-hmm.
There is, if you make it out, man, that's like the greatest victory. You know what I'm saying? So like it just you shouldn't be afraid to fail. You shouldn't be afraid of loss. I was actually listening to this TED Talk where they were talking about the
one who said failure. You have to be willing to fail.
They were talking about how like this one business they want them to fail. Yeah, you have 3 tries, and if you fail, you get a raise. Yeah. I said, what? Yo. That messed me all up.
That blew me away.
That opened up my head, like, yo, because they're that constructed to like they don't want to feel so bad, and like they're getting paid for like the fact that they're failing, but their efforts, they put in their multi efforts to succeed and create something different. Yeah. And that's the whole mindset I try to take on as like, if I know I go all out and I feel at it, I'm gonna be upset for the moment, but it's just like it's this glory in that, because that's something there's something else that you could look at and be like, well, I could build on that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's not nothing I look at and be like, all right, I'm just out of it. No, that's like I could build on that. That's another skill that I have to work on. That's something else that I have to be able to maneuver throughout. Yeah. And that kind of like strives as a creator. Exactly. That's what keeps you going in a way. Not to be all cheesy, that's what keeps you going. But like, that's kind of like, that's motivation, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that TED Talk was crazy. I heard that like a few months ago, and I was like, yo, these people, I don't know where they found them at, bro, but they be saying something. There's one episode I still haven't heard yet, but it was the all right dude who was like, how I grew up in a white supremacy household, but how I was able to get out of it. I was like, yo, I need to listen to this, because this is an actual white person who is trying to tell other white people, like, yo, we're very racist. Like, like I need to listen to that.
Yeah, I did too. That sounds interesting.
So you are co-founder of Black Posse.
Yes.
I want you to tell everybody who Black Posse is and how you guys came together.
All right. Well, Black Posse is Black Posse was a creative idea that we came up with. Well, me and originally it was 3 friends of ours, and it was like the summer of like 2013, 12, something like that. And just what I did is just playing around. Like we just like, yo, let's create something, and let's just like come up with like. First we was like, we about to just be some rappers. Like just forget it. Like we about to get it somewhere, but we realized like, all right, we have this whole thing in common with clothes. We love clothes. We love fashion. At the moment, that was our thing, and we were just like, all right, so let's do it. Fast forward, we started coming up with different ideas. We started using try to use our resources with other people. It's so hard. If I salute those who come up with these ideas in high school and actually see it through, because like you're gonna go through so much drama, so much like agony just to get an idea, especially when you work in a group. Yeah. Everybody, it's so hard to keep everybody focusing on board. That's one of my biggest problems, is like focus and like staying with the same idea, because I get bored easily. Mm-hmm. But like that was something that we made, and we started out with t-shirts. Okay. Started out with t-shirts, printed t-shirts, getting them made kind of like started costing more than what we were making by selling them in some way. So it was just like, we tried to like keep like advancing. So we started doing like long sleeve t-shirts, mm-hmm. Then we started doing hats. And in the long run, we still had plans on like keeping it going, but like I kind of like trying to like branch off of that and still like create my own thing. But with that, I had to say like I'm glad that we have this, like we experienced this young. that's this brand was the reason like why I even came to school for fashion. I wanted to learn like how to better that, how to grow on my own type of thing off of that. If that doesn't work, I could create my own, empire. Because that's originally what our idea was, to create empire, but it's just so much going on. There's different people. It's hard to just like stay on task, but yeah, that's the whole thing. That the idea was to just create clothes, cool things to sell, and it is a cool high school idea that we had, but it's still going. We still got ideas coming. We still got different things going. So stay tuned for that.
Word. So right, what's the biggest advice you can give to people if they want to work in a group?
Throw your ego aside. Basically, throw your egos aside. Make sure you're around good people, and make sure you guys you have a good circle that all have the same common goal. If y'all don't have all have the same common goal, it will not work out. I'm telling you, it will not work out. Right. And you have to be open. You have to be willing to let it go. I was listening to this rap group called Brockhampton. They're very good, and they're like a collective that just came together randomly off like a forum, and like they always tell people like they're this boy band, and they keep saying like they keep telling people like, yeah, it all worked out because like we just threw our egos away. Yeah. People keep asking how. There's like a lot of them. It's probably like 12 of them, honestly, it's like 12 of them. They all do different things, but it was like they were just saying like, yeah, we just threw our egos away, and then we were able to take criticism, constructive criticism. You can't take everything personal. Sometimes the best way is to take on criticism and to like dissect and basically listen to that. Listening a lot of times we all everybody feel like they got this platform, they want to speak out or they want to like express their certain opinions in a way. I mean, that's cool and I'm all for that, but it's like there's a time where you gotta put your ego aside, put yourself aside and be like, alright, I really want this thing to work and I know you want this thing to work, so let's figure out a way how we could come together cohesive and make this project.
I believe that's one of our biggest issues now, is that because we have so much resources to be independent, it's so hard for us to come together to be a group, because it's like, well, I don't really have to work with you because I go on my own to do this, but it's like if you go on your own, you can get only so far.
Absolutely.
You can only get so far, and there's no such thing as making it on my own. There's always going to be a point where you're going to need help from somebody down the line, whether it be one time, multiple times, or whatever the case might be. Anybody you see on big platforms, they got help from people around them.
Yeah, everybody. I hate people be like, I'm self-made.
Yeah, self-made.
I'm self-made. Ain't nobody made me.
Yeah,
I did it on my own.
Even your mama.
I stayed 10 toes down. Like, no, you did not.
Word.
No, you did not. Somebody was helping you. Somebody was, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's no way. You can't be successful and not have any help.
Right.
Anybody who said that, they're lying.
Yeah.
Even if somebody gave you studio hours, you only had the keys to open up the door, and whatever the case, that's a help.
Word.
You wasn't going to record that day, or you wasn't going to get to your destination that day, even if they drove you there. You gotta understand, like, that whole, and I think more so, you should be more open to working with people. Yo, why is it this thing, maybe I have no idea, why is it this thing where everybody's afraid to be like, help. Yeah, I need help, or let's work together. Let's do something together. And some people, they turn off, and I hate the term let's link up and build. Alright, I understand that. Don't have to say link up and build, but you know what I mean. You can send emails. You can take people's like information down.
Yeah.
There's certain ways you could work together And you know, I don't know if people are afraid of having other people credit for stuff. Like some people were so concerned about credit and accolades and everything. I mean, that's all cool, but you understand, to get the best out of you, to get the best ideas, to get the best experiences, you're gonna need other people.
Right.
You're gonna need other people. There's nothing wrong with that. Build a brand, build a collective. All big brands have people under them. Big baller brand that's going around LeVar Ball wilding and stuff. I know he may seem like he does a lot on his own, but it's a team. Listen, it's a team. Look, he has people to create his stuff for him. He has managers under his team. You know what I'm saying? So he has designers. It's not just hip. It's always something there. He might be the biggest marketer. There might be somebody like, all right, they stand out as a marketer. They might be the best at what they do. But there's nothing wrong with having a team of people.
Right.
Nothing wrong with moving like that. I remember. Well, I just to say, like I was just listening to Dave Chappelle, and then I know it's funny. He was talking about like Trump sent out this because he had I forgot. It was like a phone call or something, and somebody got through to the president, and it was just like, how did they get through to the president? Like, there's not nobody on his team that was able to check that. He said, like, Dave Chappelle's like, everywhere I go, I carry around my guy, Mr. Mittens. And then, like, he said, like, every time I hear an idea or a deal up to me, he's like, he said, Mr. Mittens just gives me the sound. And he makes this noise. Like, he makes this meow, meow noise. And once Mr. Mittens gives me the meow, meow, I know I'm good. I know I can, like, I know that everything's okay. He said, Donald Trump doesn't have a Mr. Mittens on his team. There's not nobody to make sure he good. Like, this.
Absolutely not.
You know what I'm saying? You can't be independent with everything. You don't have nobody to help check out, make sure you good. You don't have a security guard. You don't have nobody. Like, you have to work. There's not, and like people brag about like not having security, stuff like that. You stupid, bro.
Yeah,
you got all this money and chains. You don't got security. You dumb. How you move it? Forget all that street talk. Like you got, this is your life.
Yeah.
But I mean,
and that goes back to why we like the ones who do go to school. You're in a pool full of people with different skills around you. Right. So if you meet someone in the library, it's like, yo, I'm studying management. I get their number down. Because the thing is, it's like, all right, he's studying management, so there's a possibility he's gonna want to manage something when he's done with school. So why not why not get together with him now and y'all start building from there? And then once you're done 4 or 5 years down the line, he or she probably won't even need to go look for a job because he's helping manage your business. You have somebody else who's probably good in fashion. Your business might need to sell merchandise. Yeah,
yo, listen to this. The dude that created Nike, Phil Knight, right? I think it's Phil Knight. I can't think right now, but yeah, the dude who created Nike. And my friend that's in jail right now. Shout out to Drake. He was explaining to me his book. I forgot what it's called, but it is a book with Phil Knight, and basically what he was saying is all those people that helped create Nike, they were business majors, bro. There were no designers. They were business majors. I thought that blew me away. Like all they knew was how to market that brand. Yeah. That's the craziest thing ever. And we do know like some of the stuff that we see and stuff is all because of the brand name. And that kind of that was a thought in my head. Right. Like you shouldn't be hanging on the street just people that's all designers or all this, you know what I'm saying? This, like, where's the business side? You have to, you have to have people that's able to build with something else.
Absolutely.
And from there, they just knew like how to push it, like how to push this brand, how to push this. Even like I brought up Steve Jobs earlier. He wouldn't, that design of Apple, everything, that wasn't all him.
Yeah, that wasn't him.
That wasn't him.
What was the thing about Apple?
Andrew, was it Andrew Wozniak? What was his name? Wozniak, or whatever the case may be. That they kind of created it, created the whole computer, the laptop, and he pushed it, and that's when people got upset because it was just like, yo, you didn't do all the dirty work, you just marketed it better. Yeah. And I think that's the smartest thing ever. Like, yo, work smarter, not harder. Like he knew exactly where to get people at. He knew like less was better. He knew not to have a fat back on a computer no more. Like people keep making all these, like, you know what I'm saying, making all these PCs with the fatbacks and
like,
carrying in the, you know what I'm saying? Carrying in all the hardware stuff. Like, he said, nah, I'm gonna trim that.
Yeah.
Simple, minimalistic style. We're gonna keep it going. Like, we're gonna keep it simple. So we can carry that computer right there, 2 seconds. You don't even have to take a second trip. You just come back. You know what I'm saying? And boom, you set up.
Yeah.
That's just like, you know what I mean? And that's just the whole idea of, wow, I wasn't able to make the product, but I could market that product.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, like in the long run, and see how far that could take you.
Mm-hmm.
So all this, like, I'm gonna figure it out on my own. I'm gonna do it on my own. It's stupid. You don't have to. That's dumb. And I also seen something where Nabruh was talking about, like, he said he had people that made T-shirts for him and different things. He's like, he's seen other people trying to like compete with those people starting to learn it. He's like, why am I competing with somebody who's been doing this for 40 years? Why wouldn't I just like get him on my team, sign him on my team, so then now he's making my ideas and we both profiting.
Exactly.
This whole competition thing, I got it messed up, man. I'm telling you, yo.
Though.
Stop competing and start creating.
I'm telling you, look.
Stop competing and start creating.
There's a large amount of students at Keon that are business majors or some realm of the business. I'm telling you, especially people who are graduating high school, freshmen, yo, if y'all come together in class, because I know, in your first couple years of school, you're going to have classes with people with different majors because, they're going to make you take those general ed classes.
Absolutely.
So when y'all ask each other, what's y'all major, think about it. It's like, someone might say, I'm a business major. Another one's going to say, I'm an accounting. You're going to need somebody to do your taxes when you plan on being a millionaire, right? Like, that's your goal. You feel me? Somebody got to balance the books and everything, your checks and all that. So have these people and make each other work the right way. So when you guys graduate, y'all not hustling, bustling, trying to work for somebody else when you had 4 years plus to get that establishment together.
And y'all build a bond with doing that.
Exactly.
So y'all, you build like this trust thing. So it's not you squirming and somebody taking you for 85%, whatever you take it. You don't know how to do numbers because you're a creator. So you over here looking like, I don't know. Nah.
Exactly.
Ain't about that.
So I wanna talk about one last thing real quick. Cardi B.
Finally, I wanted to talk about something fun. Like, you got me all like thinking it's but yeah, Cardi, what's up?
So Cardi B, she's been on the rise for what, last 2 years or so?
I would say so. Probably about the last 2 years, and especially the last year. I would say. What
do you think of her? What's your take on Cardi?
I'm glad you brought this up, man. I just all right. Let me think. So all right. So Cardi B, she's been marketed and pushed very strong. I agree with the fact that it's good that she could kind of hustle her way and do what she want. I accept that. But as the people, I wish this contradiction didn't exist to where we empower our people to be a certain way. We empower people to grow and not promote different things, but we give passes to different entertainers. We give passes to like the R. Kellys. We give passes to the to even the Snoop Dogs, the people like we was this certain people. Like, I'm not saying judge people off their history or whatever the case, but I'm saying though, if it hadn't been somebody else, y'all be getting them out of here. You know what I'm saying? So like it's weird, especially in this whole women empowerment movement going on. It's just, I understand that people are trying to be like this kumbaya, whatever, to push and market whatever they have to do, and I get the whole business aspect, but it's just like there has to be somewhere where you have to take a stand and be like, you have to be and say like, all right, we're not having this. So I'm kind of confused on how to feel, because I don't know if are we gonna keep promoting just girls coming up as strippers or coming up as prostitutes and just say oh, this is just you can out your way by just rapping or whatever the case may be. I'm glad she turned it into a positive, but it's just like she's saying like people are saying like there's nothing wrong with this and nothing wrong with that. And I'm not shaming, but it's just like, what are the goals that we have for society? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What is the goals that we have, not just in a religious aspect, but what do we have as a society? Is just like this is not okay.
Yeah.
And in the world today, we accept everything,
Right.
and we can't say anything or we lose everything.
Yeah, we lose credit, yeah.
we accept anything, and you can't say anything or you lose everything.
And I think that's my biggest problem with society is like we have freedom of speech, right? But every time you say something, you get backlash. But I think it comes with that, so you have to be willing to accept that. It's like, listen, you have this platform, you have this and that. Just know if you want to maintain it, you better keep your mouth closed. You better shut your mouth. But if you want to say something that can burn your platform, just know that it will cost you. And I think that's the biggest problem. Like, why do I have to lose everything I've built just because I have an opinion?
Exactly.
That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, if I'm a supporter of you and you say something that I don't agree with, that's not gonna make me any less dislike your craft. Cause I still like your craft, but there's some people that take it to the heart, where it's like, oh, I really don't like the fact that he don't support women empowerment or this type of movement. And I think that's especially with Black Twitter. Yeah. Like Black Twitter, like they got problems with people who date white women and all that. It's like, yo, these people are their own people. Like they're their own selves. Like how do you really? I never knew things like that can really affect people so hard, bro. Like
I mean, it's a weird world though. It's a weird world we live in, and like this thing that just it seems like there's a disingenuous whatever word I'm trying to say vibe of people pretending like they care or pretending like they're like this deep activists or they just they have these huge takes on of what's going on.
Right. And
it's funny because like I just wish the lines were more clear and everything wasn't so blurry at this moment, because there was a time where it wasn't. I understand. There's a time where blacks couldn't even date whites. Interracial dating was illegal, and now that's something positive we look at and be like, all right, that's cool. Now just we starting getting into like, all right, so what else can we clear? What else can we get to get legalized? And then comes the whole gay marriage and that. All right, if you don't agree with that, if you do agree with that, it should be okay with both. Right. But now it's like, if you don't agree with it, who are you? What do you like? What do you do? Oh, you got your sins. Or like, what I'm saying? Everybody start getting into this concept. Well, you don't have to accept everything about somebody, but listen, respect their opinion, and keep it going. And there shouldn't be no malice about that. Yeah. Like, expect their opinion. If they don't think that's cool, then that's fine.
That's fine. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The same way that the same way that they think that you want to do what you want, that's cool. If they don't like it, don't shun them for that. Disrespect their opinion and keep it moving. Right. Like, let's stop getting away from that. Shouldn't stop you from working with somebody. It shouldn't stop you from getting your money or whatever the case may be. Yeah. But like that's that whole thing, and it's just like, it's kind of annoying because people and they could legit not even feel like that, but they put that facade on, like, oh, peace, love, positivity, let's accept everything, let's build everything. But had that person been like, yeah, well, I'm a KKK or I'm a white supremacist, so what, you gonna shun them? You know what I'm saying? What you mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, I would say, hey man, accept that too.
Word. Yeah, absolutely.
Let's not, you want everything, you want freedom of speach. Hey, then he's saying his rights. Right. He's saying his 666 stuff. Accept that too. Like, we're gonna accept everything, right? So you should have the right to say no, that's not okay, and you should have the right to say no, that is okay, and that shouldn't be like. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's certain things that shouldn't be policed by people. You know,
everything's okay until somebody disagrees. With it. But it's like, I feel like that comes from a lack of education and understanding. Like, there are billions and trillions of people who do not think like you, and you should appreciate that, because just 'cause, you know, someone who doesn't think like you, that means that you're the only person who thinks like that to some degree. But I just think it is a lack of education, because a lot of people can't sit in a room and have a legitimate conversation with someone that they don't agree with for 5 minutes.
And you should. That's why you should. Yo. I hate the fact that I hate the fact that people just always want to agree with somebody.
Word.
No, man. Yo, exercise the mind, yo.
Right, yeah.
Having people that don't agree, and I'm not saying just find people to disagree just to have an argument. To help build and to grow and to move and innovate, you have to have people you don't agree with and sit down and have that conversation. You have to get different perspectives. Stop all agreeing and creating this whole thing where y'all all have this, all right, we're right and people wrong, this whole self-righteousness. I think they gotta stop building that. It's okay to disagree. It's okay to not have the same mindset. It's all right, and that people have to be okay with that, and that's the only way we're gonna get things done. And people just, like, I go back to what I was saying, let their egos go, let their mindset open their minds and close their mouths. They'll start to realize, like, yo, I kind of understand where you're coming from.
Yeah,
I kind of get what you're saying, and that go back to what I was saying earlier, like. And what you were saying earlier is they're only for you when you agree with them.
Yeah.
When you don't agree with them, it's like, well, what do you know? You dumb, you know, you did this. They start pulling up you know what I'm saying? They start pulling your accolades, pulling up your credentials.
And I hate that, because people, like, I seen this tweet, it was like, oh, people only ask what you do for work just to see what much level of respect they won't give you. So, like, when you do get into an argument, they go, oh, what do you know? You ain't even go to college, or you graduated. It's like, what does that mean?
We was talking about football, bro.
Bro.
Stop pulling up my GPA.
Yeah, like, come on, man.
What we doing here?
Like, I don't get that, bro. Like, that's such an old mindset, because back in the day, they really used to do that. Like, oh, what do you know? You didn't even go to school, and
that's such a dumb thing, yo. They even graduate college, so did Bill Gates and so did Steve Jobs. Like, what are you saying?
I don't get that.
So Zuckerberg, it's just like some of the biggest people, billionaires. You know that story, man.
Right.
They even go, they even finish college. So all that is irrelevant. So all you talking is irrelevant. You just talking what they taught you.
Right.
So
that's the lack of education. So when I say lack of education, I'm not talking about somebody who went to college. I'm just talking about somebody who has not been educated or did not take the time to educate themselves on society as a whole, and learning how to communicate with people outside their household, people outside their neighborhood, and where they're from. Because, you know, one thing I appreciate about my life is that I've worked in places that you have a likelihood of being robbed at, you know, and I took the bus. And my thing, I'm like, yo, my coworkers, they used to talk so much junk about these people who come in, you know, people were drugged up, people coming in there high off life, bro. And I'm like, yo, they would say, oh boy, here they go. I'm like, yo, but y'all gotta understand where they coming from, all right? Like, I don't think they woke up and said, I want to be a drug addict. They say, yeah. And they're like, yeah, but still, she high as heck, she ain't doing it. I'm like, okay, but she probably has a history of family that's been through hell, and she probably just born in it.
That's what I'm saying.
You feel me? Like, y'all can't really be trying to shun people and shame them for being born in an environment that they didn't pick to be born in.
But yo, check this out. And here's the thing. And I heard you say this in his tweet, but this is something they've said for years. Sam said for years, but it just got popular now. But like, you really could tell about a person by how they act towards people who can't do nothing for them. You can really tell their character by what they say or what they do for people that can't help them at all. So the way they treat those people, and they expect nothing out of them, then that's a legit person. Yeah. But those ones that be all giddy and happy for people, like, oh, the boss is here, we got, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We gonna actually get you, like, throw in your face, throw in your mask real quick. Let's throw in this face that we only have for them. That's so but take it off when they're not around. Leave, you know what I'm saying?
I hate
that. What's that? I forgot on Friday it was like, it was like, when he come around, he said, I'll be quiet. when he leave, I'll start talking again.
Yeah.
That's so like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like people, they act. It's just they put on this, like, that go back to what I said, put on a facade, put on this fake thing, where they have these, I have to be this way for a certain crowd or whatever to get to where I'm at. But that's wrong. Your character is diminished, and it's gonna perish, and ultimately inside it's gonna all come to light, man.
And people can smell BS too. So even if you act like that, he might leave like, this dude a clown.
Man, there's so many times my dad and stuff is like, yo, you gotta watch out for people like that.